One of the issues top of mind for a lot of people is on Monday. President Trump will announce his pick to succeed Justice Anthony Kennedy at the U.S. Supreme Court. And the White House released the names of 3 possible nominees, a short list. They are appeals court judges Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, and Raymond Kethledge. How would you describe, Senator, the stakes involved with this?
I think in many respects, because the court touches basically every nook and cranny of an Oregon family's life, this seat is really for all the marbles. And people often talk about the process. Now, the fact is Mitch McConnell is using a double standard. There was one standard for Merrick Garland, another standard for a Trump nominee, but most Oregon families aren't focused on process questions in terms of what's going on back in the DC scene. I do think that what is going to be relevant is, in particular, whether or not we're going to turn back the clock on some priorities really important for Oregonians. For example, 130 million people have pre-existing health conditions. We were finally able to get protection for them. They can't be discriminated against. The Trump administration wants to take that away. It's wending its way through the courts. I believe the next justice will sit on that case, maybe be the deciding vote. I can tell you from my town meetings, Oregonians want to go forward on health care, not go backward to the days when the insurance companies can clobber you and we essentially have health care for the healthy and wealthy.
Is there anybody, any name on that list that you think that you could possibly support?
In terms of what I'm looking for, and this is the president's appointment, I want somebody who will respect precedent and somebody who's not looking for ideological, trophies. And when you talk, for example, about healthcare kinds of questions, about access to education, there are going to be some hugely important questions coming up, and I'm looking for someone who's in the mainstream.
Does anybody fit that bill of those 3?
I haven't gone through every one of the candidates yet. Obviously, the president is just looking at 3 or 4. What I am most interested in, as I indicated, is to know that there is going to be respect for settled law. That always used to be a basic kind of principle of serving on the Supreme Court, and it looks like some of the candidates at least may not respect it.
What's the Democrats' strategy? You need to not have any defectors and get 2 Republicans to side with the Democrats to block potential nominee.
Laurel, I think political change doesn't start in Washington, D.C. and trickle down. I think it's just the opposite. I think it's bottoms up. I just mentioned an issue, the question of protecting people with pre-existing health conditions. 130 million Americans are faced with that. A lot of them are Republicans. A lot of them are independents. A lot of them have family members who face that. I don't think they're going to be particularly friendly towards somebody who wants to turn back the clock on health care. So I'm putting the focus. I've been speaking to groups all through this week. I've been out on the campaign trail for my colleagues in other states, and I think this is going to be an issue-driven debate.
So you think the people will speak up about who the nominee should be?
I think, for example, if you want to turn back the clock on health care, Republicans, independents, people across the political spectrum be up in arms.